Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. Today is the martini of Henry VI Part 1, meaning we only have 2 monologues left to go. We have today and tomorrow, and then we get a new play, which is the same characters, continuing to do what they do. Anyway, today we get to hear from the Earl of Suffolk in Act 5, Scene 5, which is thrown on the end of the play. It feels like a lot of things have already been resolved. Talbot is dead, Joan has been burned at the stake, all that sort of stuff. The War of the Roses is still kind of sort of going on, but they need to figure out who the king can marry, and he was promised to somebody, but then the Earl of Suffolk fell in love with Margaret, fell in lust with Margaret, let's be honest, and decided that she should marry the king so that she'll be in the court, so that he can drool over her and that sort of a thing. And he talks her up so much to the king that, which is what yesterday's monologue was, that the king was like, yeah, I guess I have to marry her because she sounds so awesome. So then they're all like trying to figure out how they tell the other woman that she will not be marrying the king, and how do they like position this so that it makes sense for him to marry Margaret. And they're like, well, is it a question of birth? Is it a question of she's prettier? Is it a question of like she comes with a better dowry? And the Earl of Suffolk says, a dower, my lords. Disgrace not so your king that he should be so abject, base, and poor to choose for wealth and not for perfect love. Henry is able to enrich his queen and not seek a queen to make him rich. So worthless peasants bargain for their wives as marketmen for oxen, sheep, or horse. Marriage is a matter of more worth than to be dealt in by attorneyship. Not whom we will, but whom his grace affects, must be companion of his nuptial bed. And therefore, lords, since he affects her most of all these reasons bindeth us, in our opinions, she should be preferred. For what is wedlock forced but a hell, an age of discord and continual strife, whereas the contrary bringeth bliss, and is a pattern of celestial peace. Whom should we match with Henry, being a king, but Margaret, that is daughter to a king? Her peerless feature, joined with her birth, approves her fit for none but for a king. Her valiant courage and undaunted spirit, more than in women commonly is seen, will answer our hope in issue of a king. For Henry, son unto a conqueror, is likely to beget more conquerors, if with a lady of so high resolve, as is fair Margaret, he be linked in love. Then yield, my lords, and here conclude with me that Margaret shall be queen, and none but she. And so they all decide that, yeah, he can marry Margaret. Marry Margaret, that's character from another thing. And yeah, tomorrow we get to hear from King Henry VI one more time before the play is out, and we'll have some thoughts on the play in general, and then we get to jump into Henry VI Part 2, which will be fun. There's ghosts, there's spirits, there's amazing lady characters, which will be fun. We haven't had much to do with women for a while. Yay, history plays. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for the last day of Henry VI Part 1. Mwah.